Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you're a die-hard Cowboys fan or just someone who loves following all the twists and turns of NFL offseason rumors, you've picked the perfect video to tune into. Because today, we're diving into something that's stirring up quite a bit of buzz in Cowboys Nation, something fans may not have seen coming. We're talking about what might be the Cowboys' best-kept secret heading into this next NFL season. We've got hype building around Broncos running back Javonte Williams, and how he could potentially end up making waves in Dallas. Plus, we're also going to talk about the recent stirrings involving veteran linebacker CJ Mosley, and whether there's any real fire behind the Cowboys' rumored interest in him. So grab your favorite Cowboys jersey, settle in, and let's break this down together. So, let's start off with this mystery player, the best-kept secret on the Cowboys roster right now. Sometimes, the brightest stars aren't always the ones we see coming. Sure, fans and analysts keep their eyes on the marquee names like Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott, but every year, there's always one or two guys flying under the radar who absolutely explode when given the opportunity. And right now, that quiet storm could very well be Jalen Brooks, the second-year wide receiver who's been putting in serious work during team activities. Coaches have been raving about his growth, especially after a strong showing in training camp and flashes of talent during limited snaps last season. He's got the size, the hands, and now, more importantly, the confidence. Insiders around the star are talking about how Brooks has been quietly putting together a case to become the WR3 or WR4 on the depth chart. That's not just wishful thinking either, it's coming from his route discipline, his improved burst off the line, and his ability to catch in traffic. If this guy keeps it up through preseason, he might just force his way into more offensive packages, giving Dak another dependable option downfield. Now, what makes Brooks a secret weapon is just how quietly he's gone about making progress. While most of the attention has been on Brandon Cooks and Jalen Tolbert battling it out behind Lamb, Brooks has consistently shown a strong rapport with backup quarterbacks and made the most of every rep. The coaching staff loves guys who make the most of their chances, and right now, Brooks is doing exactly that. It wouldn't surprise anyone if Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer are quietly designing plays to give him looks, especially on third downs or red zone opportunities. In today's NFL, having a big-bodied, sure-handed receiver who doesn't shy away from contact is a rare commodity. That's what Jalen Brooks is developing into, and if defenses don't start planning for him, he could be the kind of guy who catches 5 or 6 touchdowns out of nowhere and changes the complexion of the Cowboys' passing attack. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something that's turning heads outside of Dallas but could have a major ripple effect if it ever came to pass: Javonte Williams. That's right, the Denver Broncos running back, known for his bruising style and explosiveness when healthy, has suddenly become the subject of heavy speculation in Cowboys circles. The rumor mill is buzzing with the idea that Dallas might be interested in making a move for him, especially with uncertainty still looming over the Cowboys' current backfield. Yes, they brought back Ezekiel Elliott, and yes, they've got Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn, but none of those guys have firmly planted themselves as a clear-cut RB1 in the post-Tony Pollard era. Javonte Williams, if made available, would instantly become a top candidate to bring that balance back to the offense. What makes the Williams rumors even more intriguing is how the Broncos have been non-committal when talking about his future. While he's a valuable player, they're entering a semi-rebuild mode under Sean Payton and may be willing to part with someone like Williams if the price is right. Dallas has been historically cautious when it comes to trades, but we've also seen them make aggressive moves when they believe a player fills a critical need. Javonte fits the mold of a 3-down back who could provide toughness between the tackles and also has some receiving chops. His ability to absorb contact and keep his legs churning would be a dream fit behind this Dallas offensive line, especially with Tyler Smith continuing to develop and Zach Martin still playing at a high level. The Cowboys' identity has always been linked to strong running games, from Emmitt Smith to DeMarco Murray to Ezekiel Elliott in his prime. Javonte Williams could be that next name on the list if the Cowboys feel like this is the time to swing big and return to a run-first offense to help ease some of the pressure off Dak Prescott. A trade wouldn't necessarily require massive compensation either. Given the injury history Williams carries, the Cowboys might be able to get him for a day 3 pick or a conditional mid-rounder, depending on Denver's asking price. And let's be honest, if you can get a potential game-changer at running back for a mid-round pick, you absolutely consider it. But it's not just the offensive side of the ball generating rumors. Let's now turn our attention to defense, and in particular, the intriguing whispers surrounding CJ Mosley. The veteran linebacker, currently with the New York Jets, has been a model of consistency and leadership throughout his career. He's the kind of presence that could elevate a defense from good to great, and there are rumblings that the Cowboys may have more than just a passing interest in him. With Leighton Vander Esch's career up in the air due to health concerns and the team still looking for someone to pair alongside Damone Clark in the heart of the defense, CJ Mosley would bring the kind of veteran stability and football IQ that this unit could really benefit from. Mosley still has some gas in the tank, and more importantly, he brings the kind of sideline-to-sideline playmaking ability that Dallas has at times lacked at the second level. His instincts are sharp, he diagnoses plays quickly, and he's rarely out of position. If you imagine a linebacker room with Mosley mentoring Damone Clark and DeMarvion Overshown, while Micah Parsons roams the field in multiple roles, you begin to see how this Cowboys defense could transform into something even more formidable. Defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer is a big believer in smart, veteran defenders who can act as field generals. Mosley is exactly that. He's vocal, he's intelligent, and he commands respect in the locker room. Of course, any potential move would come down to finances and willingness from the Jets' side. Mosley has a sizable contract, and the Cowboys would likely need him to restructure or take a team-friendly deal to make something work cap-wise. But if the Jets are looking to go younger at the linebacker position and would be open to eating some salary just to move on, the Cowboys could absolutely be a landing spot. Don't be surprised if this is a conversation that gets louder as training camp approaches and teams begin finalizing rosters. Now, circling back to the offense, there's a lot of conversation about balance. Fans saw last season that the Cowboys sometimes leaned too heavily on Dak Prescott to make plays, especially in tight games. That led to turnovers, unnecessary pressure, and inconsistent rhythm. The front office and coaching staff are determined to fix that heading into 2025. Whether it's through finding the next breakout star like Jalen Brooks, trading for a power runner like Javonte Williams, or even adjusting schemes to feature quicker reads and safer throws, the Cowboys want to get back to being efficient, explosive, and unpredictable. Having someone like Williams gives you the freedom to call more play action, chew up clock, and keep your defense fresh. Pair that with a sneaky contributor like Brooks and you're looking at an offense that has far more weapons than people realize. And that's where the excitement really starts to build. Because while many teams are focused on splashy signings and highlight reel players, the Cowboys have been methodical, almost surgical in how they've approached this offseason. Every move, every rumor, every workout invitation, it all feels like a calculated plan to retool and re-energize a team that still believes it can contend for a Super Bowl. The front office has faced plenty of criticism in the past, especially for their conservative nature, but things might be shifting. The fact that they're being linked to players like Mosley and Williams suggests they're at least open to being aggressive if the fit is right. So as fans, we should be paying close attention to every minicamp rep, every roster shuffle, and every report coming out of the Star. These aren't just random headlines. They're pieces of a puzzle, and if they come together, they could be the formula for a truly special season. We often focus so much on the big names and known stars, but championships are won with depth, surprise contributors, and smart mid-season moves. That's what makes the Jalen Brooks emergence, the Javonte Williams rumors, and the CJ Mosley interest so compelling. Each of these stories touches on a different part of the roster, but together they paint a picture of a team that's looking to take that next step not just as contenders, but as legitimate favorites. Keep an eye on how these stories develop over the next few weeks. If Jalen Brooks continues to shine in practices and earns more first-team reps, you'll start hearing more from national outlets about his rise. If the Broncos signal they're ready to part with Williams, don't be shocked if the Cowboys are one of the first teams to make a call. And if the Jets decide to part ways with Mosley or simply explore trade offers, the Cowboys could be one of the smartest destinations for a veteran looking for a chance to compete at the highest level. These aren't just rumors, they're potential building blocks of a championship roster. And that's all the more reason for fans to stay plugged in. Because the Cowboys might not always make the loudest noise in the offseason, but when they strike, it tends to make an impact. Whether it's through homegrown talent, savvy trades, or targeted veteran pickups, this front office is setting the stage for something big. And if everything clicks the way it looks like it might, we could be looking back at this moment and saying, that was the beginning of something special. Thanks so much for watching today's breakdown. If you're just as hyped as I am about the potential of Jalen Brooks stepping up, the possibility of Javonte Williams making his way to Dallas, and the huge upside of adding a guy like CJ Mosley to the defense, then make sure to drop a comment below. I want to hear what you think. Is Jalen Brooks the secret weapon this team needs? Would you trade for Williams or Mosley? Let's talk about it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more Cowboys news and rumors, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We're going to keep diving deep into all the moves, surprises, and insider info throughout this offseason. Until next time, stay loud, stay proud, and as always, go Cowboys!